It's me, Galen. Galen's got Christmas Parkinson's. This is a slightly different video. I just thought it was important to look back on my 8 months on YouTube and tell you how grateful I am and to explain what it's meant and how important you are. 8 months ago, I never made any sort of video. Never! I don't believe it! You are so professional! Oh, stop it! No. And when you have Parkinson's disease, you start to feel very quickly that your life is shrinking in some way. So almost daily, you find something you used to enjoy doing that Parkinson's takes off you. And for me, that was frighteningly wargaming. My life has been about wargaming. I've played soldiers since I can remember, way back, 65 years ago. I went to my first war games club 55, 56 years ago, formal war games club, 1972. I was 15. And I've been in formal war games clubs ever since. I've never stopped. That's what I do. It's what I think about all the time. I'm always, whatever, if I'm on the PlayStation, I play games that I can relate to war games, like XCOM, for example. I role play. It's the same. When I go to bed at night and I can't sleep, I imagine myself in a campaign area of a war game. I might be a questing knight in my fantasy world of Jural. It's what I do. Or I'm on a squat spaceship travelling through my game of Stargrave. It's my go-to place to escape. I've always loved painting figures. I was a professional war games painter. Shaky hands took that off me. A confusion of the brain made life tricky. Shaky hands made it hard to move figures on tables in cooperative games. I can't drive anymore. Everything I wanted to go to, war game shows, war games clubs, they're all a long way away. That was all chipping away. And I felt, wrongly, let's get that straight, because if anyone watching this thinks, here we go, whiny Mardy bum, he's going to cry in a minute, that's the point. Because it suddenly occurred to me that I was being a big soft wethead, and it had to stop. I'd had enough. To quote my hero Popeye, I'd had all I could stand, and I could not stand no more. So I thought, well, let's be heroic in mind. This is my story. Parkinson's is my part of my life adventure. We all have a story. We're all in our story. Surely we should all be heroes in our own stories. If we're not heroes in our own stories, there's something wrong with that story. Just throw it in the bin. So I decided to take command. I grabbed my ancient rusty sword and cleaned it off because it was being neglected at the time. And I got in my Viking longship and I rowed across a mythical sea to a land where the demonic monster of Parkinson's disease was roaming free. And I clambered off the boat and I went ashore and I began to give battle. And suddenly, through giving battle, I found I could do things. Parkinson's thought it had captured the castle of my not painting figures. It was wrong, because I paint figures again now. Now, I don't paint them as well as I used to, but that wasn't what the battle was about. That was where I made the mistake. I thought the battle was about perfection, and it wasn't. The battle was about the battle. It was about the fight. I challenged Parkinson's in any number of ways. 3 years ago, I weighed 15 stone through inactivity largely, and poor diet, and losing my way dramatically. I walked on 2 sticks, if I walked at all. I had no balance. I fell over constantly. I thought I was heading for a grim future. Now, I go to the gym. I weigh 12 stone. I paint figures. I wargame every day because those battles are getting won. I don't walk with sticks now. I fall over. For what? Don't we all? You know, to me, life is a series of misadventures punctuated by falling over. That's the best Parkinson's can do. Well, I'm afraid it's a bit wet and it better grow up. Now, thanking you. So, about 8 months ago, I was painting figures at this very desk. And I've found that if by going to the happiest times I've had, which are probably the 1970s, everything was new and exciting, I felt comfortable reading books from that time, listening to music from that time. I like a joystick. And I was sat at the desk talking to myself, as I do, as I am now. And I thought, well, you know, I might not be the only person in this situation. There might be any number of people, maybe my age, maybe older, maybe younger, maybe people who've got some sort of disability of whatever that means. Maybe people who are just feeling a bit lonely. Do they use YouTube? I doubt it. But I didn't use YouTube. So anyway, I went on YouTube and I looked at a video, how to make a YouTube video with a camera. I haven't got one. How to make a YouTube video on your phone. Oh, okay. So look at that. So I did one of them. I stood my phone up. As it turns out, I stood it up the wrong way because I stood it up that way. So all of my first videos are all dead and thin like that. And then somehow or other, by accident, I put it up that way, and that's where we've got this now. No microphones, no lights. Well, I've obviously got lights, you know, but I mean no special lights. This is just my camera propped up, which is why it falls over half the time when I'm filming. And I thought to myself, my aim was make 10. This is now number 372. Make 10. I didn't know how to publish them. I had to keep going back to YouTube to have a look. And then my son said, you could do it putting a thumbnail on them. I thought, well, I'm not losing a thumbnail every time I do a video. I've only got 10. He said, oh, no, that's not what they are. So I went on another YouTube video and it said how to make a thumbnail. I thought, oh, I'll do that. So I started doing them. And then now recently, the last month, I've started putting end bits on. And I've started having like a logo-y beginning that's always the same. And I'm still thinking about working on an end bit that's always the same. So suddenly I thought, I'm always learning. And I really enjoyed doing it. And so in itself, it became really exciting. And then people started subscribing and contacting me. And I've actually properly communicated with people. I've spoken to people. I've seen some of you face to face away from YouTube. And the people, you're on different continents. But we're all war gamers. That blows my mind. Some people have kindly subscribed. Thank you so much. I can't explain how nice that is. I am not looking to impress whatever an algorithm is. I'm not looking to become monetized. I'm not looking to go viral. In my day, getting viral meant you went to the doctors and got some special ointment. I don't want none of that. What I want to do is to consistently talk to you and show pictures of me and us wargaming. There's no great, the niche is wargaming, but the niche isn't role play, Napoleonics. It's me wargaming like I did in the 70s and the 80s, all my life. I've just finished doing some pirate games. I might do some World War II. I might do some Test of Honour, because I flitter about. And that's partly because my life has been one of moving a lot to different jobs. And you go to different clubs, they play different things. Sometimes you'd go to a town where there wasn't a historic club, but they did Blood Bowl or Warhammer. So you think, well, I better have some of that then. 40,000. So I think I better get a few of them. I didn't get a lot, but I just got enough so that I could go and join in. So I've ended up with lots of periods from Alexander the Great right through to 40k. Lots of different rule books from the early 70s right through. The last ones I bought were Donnybrook, League of Augsburg. So there's always things. I have to do my own stuff because I write my own rules, because that's what we used to do, because you couldn't buy them. There weren't any War Games Research Group. If you could afford Donald Featherstone's hardback book or Arthur Taylor, Bill Lamming, you bought them. But usually, with my situation, I had enough money for a few figures or a tin of Humbrol paint. It took me a while to get a book, so I wasn't going down that road. I wanted soldiers. Same with scenery. Didn't really do a lot with scenery. We just wanted to have soldiers. I have been amazed what I've learned doing this journey. I'm painting again. I'm getting some great ideas from you guys. Really smashing ideas that I'm putting into practice. So I'm learning new skills away from, okay, I now make YouTube videos, blah, blah, blah. But they're not the skills I'm interested in. Skills I'm interested in is somebody recently, Aaron, said, having watched the way my hand shakes when I paint, what about trying an airbrush? Fantastic idea. Thank you, mate. Yeah, I will. I'll ask Father Christmas for one. So that's brilliant. But it's gone beyond that. I had a particularly difficult time with mental health and illness. I was first out. They called it manic depression back in the 70s, but for me it started when I was about 8. So I've had bipolar since I was for about 62 years, and it's only recently become any sort of control. And if you watch my videos, you will know. If you watch them carefully, you'll go, he's manic or he's depressed. You'll see it. And it puts people off. People don't like it. Like real people, not you. Real people. So if I go to a War Games club and I get really excited or I get really, loud, it puts people off. I've been arrested in the past for being drunk when I don't drink. But figure that out. So clubs are hard for me. Being in a group of people is hard for me, but it doesn't appear that way because the bipolar makes me sort of super manic and maybe sometimes super gregarious. A lot of people think I'm like life and soul of the party, and they don't realise that I'm actually terrified and would much rather stop in this room, which is relatively small and dark, and talk to myself. But you've given me an excuse and a way of not talking to myself, but going out to the world. You cannot imagine what that means. And God bless every single one of you. That's not a Tiny Tim moment. That's a genuine. You all have and will continue to help me to live my life to the best of its ability. I don't want to get cheesy, but it's Christmas, so I'm allowed to be. I'm proud to be able to make YouTube videos and share my interests in wargaming with you. I'm humbled, genuinely humbled by the fact that you care enough to even watch, even if it's for 10 seconds, and move on and give me some of your time. Thank you so much. I can't do anything back. I don't do Patreon. I can't give you a free t-shirt. I don't know how to do it. I wish I did. But I give you my friendship for what it's worth, and my pledge that while I can physically do it and mentally do it, I will be here on YouTube until a disaster removes me. Thanks, everybody. Have a really, genuinely happy, merry, peaceful Christmas. And I hope everybody you love has a super time and is safe, and that you have an amazing new year. Ta-ra, Chuck.